What's going on, guys? I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com, and yeah, I'm broadcasting from my kitchen because I'm in the process of moving not just my office, but my whole home, since I do have a home office after all, from one place to another, and I'm in the process of setting up an exciting new PhoneDog studio if everything pans out. I want to make it exciting, different, maybe with some pictures this time, something cool, but it's going to take a couple of days to move everything over from one place to the other. It's all a wreck. So I'm broadcasting from random places right now. Kind of fun. You never quite know where I'm going to be. But one thing is for sure, there are two 4G LTE devices on Verizon right now. The Samsung DROID Charge, a second Verizon 4G device to come out. And actually, it's not even out yet. It was supposed to launch on Thursday, but due to Verizon's 4G network issues, it's been delayed indefinitely. Supposedly launching next week, we'll see, but it's coming at $299.99. Now, is this a device for you? So back into the Android market, here it is. There's this carousel of apps up top. You know, I'm assuming popular apps that you can get to pretty quickly. Let's just take a look at Glimpse. Just for sake of taking a look, you can see a picture, install it, the description, you can enhance that, or bring it down rather. You can see screenshots if they're available, sharing, reviews, related, developer info, and more. So all in one convenient place for you, and then when you click free, it'll bring up those permissions that you're probably familiar with some of the other devices. So you know, very clean, easy to use, and it has cool features like, you know, that rival Apple's App Store, like the ability to do automatic app updating. Huge there, very different, and nice to have. Let's take a look. I actually just got sidetracked thinking about this. Let's take a look at the widgets because that was another thing we didn't cover in the very beginning. Now you get the similar widgets that you're used to on most Galaxy S devices. Buddies Now, Daily Briefing, which is Samsung's, well, for lack of a better phrase, Daily Briefing. You can see data usage, dual clock. I've had too much coffee today. Can you tell I've had too much coffee today? I think I'm a little bit wired. But feeds and updates, Google Search, Google Voice, home screen, which Google Voice is something I've installed. But then the typical Google stuff that you're used to, with the exception of a few minor ones like Slacker Radio and TuneWiki, WeatherBug Clock, and more. So the big differences here that you'll see, the Daily Briefing application has created widgets. So these little separate widgets, these are all part of Daily Briefing. And when you click on any of them, it'll take you, bam, right into the Daily Briefing. And no network connection apparently. But you get the idea. It takes you right into the Daily Briefing so you can get an enhanced report of the weather. And, okay, there we are. We're back. And things like that. So it takes you right in. Easy access. Nice to have those widgets. So, and I actually don't have the Thunderbolt in this area. It's at my old place. It's in the process of being packed up at the moment. But, you know, Thunderbolt-wise, I'd say this, you know, I'd have to go back and look at the dimensions because honestly, off the top of my head, I don't remember. This one feels a little bit thinner, but then again, it has more of a plastic feel to it. But then again, I think the design is a little bit more stealthy. So, you know, it's one of those. If you like your design, you know, go with the Charge. If you prefer, you know, kind of a meatier device, I'd say go with the Thunderbolt. Continuing along in the applications, we've got to check out the phone because a phone wouldn't be a phone without a phone, right? Right? Actually, I said that too fast. I'm like, yeah, right. Okay. So here's the keypad. You can see the typical color scheme that we've seen on the device so far. That, you know, like I said, espresso, gray, and orange. You can see the numeric pad, island key separated well, and then down here you have voice dialing, dial 511 pound or dial, and then messages, your call log, your favorites. Old Man Baker happens to be a favorite. He's a good guy. And then when you get into contacts, you have these tabs up here at the top: info, history, activities, and media. So we can go over to, let's just say info, for example. But if I had a Twitter page, or I had, you know, activities or history rather, Old Man Baker's called me 7 times. All 7 of those calls are going to appear in the history. So, you know, it's a good social, or it's a good aggregating contacts program. And, you know, even for social media, this device is quite good with built-in widgets like, and I'll find it for you, Buddies Now, which is kind of a social aggregation tool between the popular social networks and more. So, you know, it's a socially connected handset that does a good job. I can't say that it's as good as some of the others in the market, but I think the presentation with the colors, with the way it looks, with the iPhone-esque appeal, really makes it appeal to a broader demographic as opposed to something like, let's say, Moto Blur, something of that nature. It does have an 8 megapixel camera, and in my testing it's been great, both that and the 720p video recording as well. So let's take a look here and take a picture of the Droid Incredible 2, and let's do the autofocus here. Press and hold to autofocus. Bam. I mean, just a fantastic, and it's really accentuated by that Super AMOLED Plus display. I mean, it's just absolutely beautiful. And let's jump in here. So you can see, easy to read, colors look good, very clear. In my opinion, it's a good camera all around. I've been using it to take pictures since I got it and been very, very impressed with the picture quality and the way they display on the Super AMOLED Plus display. So, I'll show you some more in the full review. I'll take it outside in the sun, but just to give you an idea, it is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. When I say full review, I mean the written review. So let's jump into applications. Let's do a quadrant standard and speed test because it wouldn't be the same without those. Now, quadrant standard, it was pretty interesting. I ran one of these, and I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I was pretty surprised at the quadrant standard score. Let's see if it's the same now. Overall, call quality's been very good. I've worked with it since, let's see, when did I get this? Tuesday? I worked with it for 2 days now, 3 days now. And no, I'm sorry, I got it on Wednesday, so 2 days. And I've been very pleased. There is a dead spot, like I said, or I say in a lot of my videos in Northeast Charlotte, and I did take it over there briefly while driving through, what was it, yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. And call quality was decent. It was very choppy at least, but I was able to maintain the call. So kudos to them for strong RF performance. And it works. It seems to work really well. That said, the battery life has been pretty decent. It does, I want to say it has a 1600 milliamp battery. Let me just double check. Yep, 1600 milliamp battery. And I'm going to wait to put that back on until this finishes up. The 1600 milliamp battery, with moderate use, I've been able to make it through a day. And Samsung devices are known to be historically slow to charge. This device has not been the case. It's charged very quickly. So let's see. Do you want to progress? 935. So you can see, and don't put all your eggs in the quadrant standard basket. I mean, there's certainly other benchmarks out there, but 935 on what's considered by many to be kind of a standardized score is pretty unimpressive. Now, compare that device to devices like the Galaxy S2, some of the other Samsung devices that are coming out, and I imagine that a lot of people will want to wait for those. And I can never get this battery cover back on the right way. It always hangs. There we go. Hangs at the top. But you get the idea. Quadrant standard scores aren't the best on this device. Hummingbird processor, and I've heard from several people that it may be Samsung's file system with TouchWiz as well, so keep that in mind. Let's see here, network communication issues. Yeah, if we can actually get a network connection, we will be able to do 4G for you. Let's jump off of mobile hotspot, see if that helps. And it's finding closest server. No, it's not Chester, South Carolina, it's Greensboro. And begin test. Actually, Chester probably is closer, but I just don't want to use that server. So you can see when it works fantastically. I mean, I'm looking at download speeds of about 15 megabits per second. That's faster than my home internet connection by a pretty impressive number. 15.03 megabits per second, upload 3.15. So when it's good, it's good. But when it cuts out, it just makes it impossible to work. And it really makes you think, am I going to spend money for this per month, plus mobile hotspot, when it's no longer free after May 15th? For a device that cuts in and out on a regular basis. I guess that's up to you, but if it were me, I couldn't do it. I just, I need more reliability than that. And to date, it's been kind of on and off. But you look at those download speeds, you look at those upload speeds, Verizon's really done a fantastic job with their LTE network. Certainly can't complain. So all in all, the Samsung DROID Charge has a lot to offer. It has that front-facing camera, a better 8 megapixel camera on the back, a beautiful 4.3 inch display. I mean, I just can't show you enough on this camera. I really can't show you the detail on this camera of how beautiful picture quality actually is. I mean, colors just pop. Let me see how close I can actually get it. Colors are just absolutely gorgeous. And, it's a wonderful display. Is it worth $299? I don't think so. But, you see a device like the Thunderbolt, which I think is $249.99. And then you see other good devices, still 3G, but good devices like the Droid Incredible 2. And, I would just say, either go with the Droid Incredible 2 or wait for something just a little bit better to come down the line. Not at all to say it's a bad device. It's very good, but and if it were $199, I'd be recommending it, at least on the hardware specs, alone, like hotcakes. But at $299, I think it's out of consumers' kind of magic price point of $199 to $249, and I think it's going to cause a burden for Samsung long term. Obviously, Verizon didn't think so because they purchased a bunch of these devices from Samsung, but we'll see how it goes long term. Keep it locked on PhoneDog.com for continuing coverage of Samsung DROID Charge, the Droid Incredible 2, and more on the site. We'll have dogfights and more next week. Next week is BlackBerry World, but I'm going to take some phones with me. I'm going to try to do those in the hotel rooms at night, so keep it locked on the site for those videos. Be sure to like us on Facebook as well, facebook.com/PhoneDog. We're giving away a ton of iPad 2s, Google Nexus S, Motorola Atrix 4G, T-Mobile MyTouch 4G, and some new smartphones in the coming days. So keep it locked on the Facebook page. Like us in our sweepstakes, facebook.com/PhoneDog. Ask me any questions on this device as well. Follow me on Twitter at PhoneDog_Aaron. And let me know. Let me know if you're going to buy one, if you're going to hold off, if you're going to go with the Bionic or something else with a dual-core processor, or you think this is the device for you. Let me know. Shoot me a message, PhoneDog_Aaron. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time.